birthday in 1818. So what is that, 198 years? Okay, he's got some wrinkles. In May of 1849, he traveled west with the regiment of mounted riflemen who were assigned to create military posts along the Oregon Trail. Owen was a sutler, one who followed an army and sold provisions to soldiers. In 1856, he was appointed special agent to the Salish, and that is when he earned the honorary title of major. He displayed loyalty to the Salish, and he criticized the government for the treatment of the Indians. He met his wife Nancy, who was a Shoshone Indian, at Fort Hall, then married her in 1858 at Fort Owen. Eventually, John Owen resigned his position as sutler to be able to be an independent trader. After he purchased St. Mary's Mission, he built a wall from cottonwood logs to protect the post. On September 16th, 1852, his employee, John Dodson, I looked for a picture of him because I wanted one, but I couldn't find it, was killed and scalped by Blackfeet Indians while he was gathering hay in the fort. 4 days before Dodson's murder, the Blackfeet Indians stole horses and destroyed vegetation in the St. Mary's Village and Fort Owen. The Owen brothers, John and Frank, were alarmed and angered by the violence and chaos that the Blackfeet Indians were forcing upon the villagers. They decided to abandon the fort. But luckily, they met Lieutenant Saxton in Spokane, and they felt motivated to return to the fort just a very short time later, because they traveled with the lieutenant and his soldiers feeling safe. Major John Owen started the first school in the state in the winter of 1857 and 58. He paid a man, Mr. McDonald, $30 a month for 4 months to teach the children close to Fort Owen Trading Post. On December 30th, 1872, Fort Owen was listed in a sheriff's sale and purchased by Major Washington J. McCormick of Missoula. Major Owen was taken to St. John's Hospital in Helena, where the Sisters of Charity from Leavenworth cared for his dementia. People who knew John blamed the dementia on alcoholism. But the depression took over his life when he suffered the loss of his wife, Nancy. He was devastated when he lost her in 1868. He just couldn't function anymore. This is funny. It's not funny, but funny. You're going to go, oh. In 1874, Owen was legally labeled insane. Poor guy. On February 17th of 1877, his friend, W.E. Bass, escorted Owen to Philadelphia to be cared for by relatives. John Owen lived until 1889. And his obituary in the Helena Weekly Herald was so nice. It was written on July 12th of 1889 and stated, Major Owen was for a long time one of the most enterprising, prosperous, influential, and public-spirited men in this section of the country. No way. In his prime, he was a man of ability, culture, and influence. The older generation of Montanians will cherish pleasant memories of Major Owen as they first knew him. I hope my obituary is that pleasant. So Frank Owen departed from the fort in 1857, but he returned in 1860. Not for long, though. He couldn't sit still. He traded elsewhere throughout the Rockies. Then in 1866, he returned to gold mine, and he opened a store in 1869. So I just was told that we only have 10 minutes left. Yeah, seriously. He's teasing me. So let's skip that and let's talk about Father Ravalli. I was going to just do, unless you want me to talk a little faster. No. Yes. No. No. Okay. No is the answer. Father Anthony Ravalli, who was in the Superior area, was requested to replace Father Pietro Zerbinati. Father Antonio Ravalli was compared to Leonardo da Vinci. Wow. He was a highly intelligent priest, physician, pharmacist, and artist. He was 6 feet tall, 200 pounds, with blue-green eyes. I love that I was able to find in my research what he looked like, not just his face. He was a wonderful human being who was gentle, sensitive, disciplined, and very well loved and respected. He joined the Society of Jesus at the age of 15, and Father Desmet was 19 when he joined. He studied biology and medicine at the University of Rome, and he named Lake Como, right? Yeah. Father Ravalli seldom gave sermons because he was not able to learn the Indian language. He tried, but he couldn't do it. It just didn't kick in for him. But in 1879, he suffered a stroke, and that paralyzed him. Did you know that Father Ravalli became paralyzed? I didn't. I was like, oh. Father Jerome D'Aste took care of Father Ravalli until Father Ravalli passed away. On October 2nd of 1884, the world lost Father Ravalli at 8 o'clock in the morning. But before he died, he was asked to be buried with the Flatheads in the Mission Cemetery. And he's there today. He knew the town of Ravalli was named after him, but it wasn't until 1893 when the Montana legislature named the county in his honor. Marcus Daly named a filly after him. There's a street after him. There's a World War I Liberty ship. Did you know that Father Ravalli experienced a similar incident that Governor Isaac Stevens experienced when they were both on their way here at separate times? But both of them fell into the icy river, and Captain Higgins rescued Governor Stevens, and an Indian rescued Father Ravalli. And Captain Higgins talks about how he rescued Governor Stevens during his Stories and Stone speech. So Father Ravalli referred to the Bitterroot Valley as a terrestrial paradise. That is true. So the reason why Father Ravalli arrived here was because on September 15th of 1845, Father Zerbinati was not feeling very well. He went to the river, but he succumbed to a possible fit of apoplexy. He was discovered hanging onto a branch with both hands and with his feet in the water. Father Zerbinati came to St. Mary's Mission in 1844 to assist Father Mingarini, and Father Zerbinati was easily able to teach himself the Indian language. Let's see. Let's talk about Isaac Governor Stevens. Skipping 3 paragraphs. How many minutes left? Now. 10? 8. Thank you. Okay. Isaac Ingalls Stevens was born in Andover, Massachusetts. Yay! Although they've lost 2 days in okay, we won't talk about it. I'm sorry. It's like a death. Okay. I'm sorry. I know. I was like, no. Okay. There's always tomorrow. Governor Stevens graduated from West Point in 1839, and he was the first in his class. President Franklin Pierce assigned 35-year-old Stevens as the first governor of the Washington Territory. Quote, and this is in the words of Luther E. Stanley. When Isaac Ingalls Stevens was